Welcome to Beauty on Monday, where we do bomb things on a Monday. Jasmine here, and happy 2019. I hope that you guys had a wonderful, happy, healthy, and safe holiday. But we are in the new year, and with New Year's brings new goals, new challenges, new resolutions. And every year I always say I'm gonna do a vision board. I'm gonna do it, but I have yet to do it except for this year. So this year I decided to do a vision board, and I just want to share with you the way that I did my board in particular. So I'm going to totally walk you through all the steps, how I did everything. We'll cover materials and things like that. So I always like to say my vision board is like my precursor to a business plan. Meaning, idea is to put things on your board that are meaningful to you. Goals, aspirations, dreams, nothing is too big for your vision board. And I think when I first started the process, I was a bit overthinking it, as a typical Virgo does. We tend to overthink. So I was trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to put on the board. Am I putting things down that I just want to achieve this year? Are there long-term goals in here? Blah, 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 blah. Driving myself nuts over the board. And I'm like, you know what? Just be meaningful and put the visions and the dreams and the aspirations that you have for your life on your board. If you're interested in see how I create my vision board, stay tuned. So, step one to creating the perfect vision board is to create a list. I use Microsoft Notes for my list. Some people like to do pen and pad. Create a list. Have a notebook. Create a list of things that you want to see for yourself, of things that you want to achieve this year, whether it be an exercise goal or eating healthier, praying more, reading your Bible, reading your Quran, or whatever it is that you read. Just read more of it. Just create a list, and honestly, be ambitious about it. Like, go for it. Write it out. So, true story, while doing this process, I sort of deferred back to last year's goals just because I was setting out new goals for this year. And lo and behold, I discovered that start my YouTube channel was a goal for 2018 that I had absolutely forgotten about. Honestly, when I started the channel, it wasn't because my goal sheet said start the channel. I just started it because I wanted to start it. It's funny how when you sort of put the energy in the air, some kind of way it comes full circle and it finds you. So that was just reassuring that this board is going to do great things for me in my life, and it needs to get done. So the first step that you want to do is create a list of all the things that you want to achieve. That's step one. So just a little bit about my board. It was very, very, very important to me that I have an aesthetically pleasing board. So I actually got this. This is a push pin board. I got this from Michael's. It was on sale, so this is gonna be weird because I'm gonna be popping in and out of the frame, guys. I'm sorry. But anyway, I got this from Michael's. Got it on sale. I don't remember how much I paid for it. So for those of you that are not in the Northeast or aren't familiar with Michael's is just a craft store. You can probably order one of these off of Amazon. So I got the push board. I wanted something framed so I could hang it on a wall. And it does have framing sort of hooks. I'm sorry, hanging hooks, so that I could hang it on my wall. So that is where I got the push board. So that's sort of like the first item that you'll need. You'll need something to put your visions on. The next thing is I decided to get these cool little stick-on letters. These are by Thickers, which is a company, American Crafts. So one idea that I wanted to have on my board is I really like the crossword puzzle look. So I wanted to have a crossword puzzle of basically, I don't know, things that I couldn't necessarily have a picture for. That's really what it ended up being. However, or just, you know, words that I thought would look really good. So I have bilingual, Beauty on Monday, and I have bicoastal. I gotta live on two coasts, y'all, and I gotta get better with my Spanish. So those are just the words that I chose. You can choose any words, and I used these sort of Letterman looking letters. These were super cool. and these have a slight shimmer to them. So I sort of threw those in there, sort of to look like a magazine cutout. I have these smaller ones that I use. So I have Proverbs 18:22 there. You know, as I go along, I'll add more. So one thing to keep in mind is like, my vision board for me is a living piece of art, meaning that it's going to constantly be evolving, it's going to constantly be changing, which is one reason why I didn't necessarily want things to be permanently affixed to the board. I mean, in my mind, it's like, I want these things, but these things, I may not want them at another particular time or stage in my life. I may not feel that I need them. So I always wanted to give myself the option to grow and expand beyond the board. I mean, I'm getting a little deep, but I'm just saying that's how I felt. So it was important to me that it wasn't like a glue-on situation, just because I do want to change things around. I am going to be, you know, as the year progresses, maybe I don't need to have, you know, the abs goal on there anymore because I have the abs. And actually I do have the abs, but this is more to remind myself to continue to have them. So I just, you know, that was sort of like the idea, is for nothing to be permanently affixed, for things to be interchangeable, movable, expandable, and such. So I use these little push pins that I got from Amazon. These are rose gold. I used also the color gunmetal, and that was just kind of like the theme is really like neutrals, and we'll get into pictures in a little bit, but just really like metallics, but nothing too brassy or nothing too shiny. So they're kind of muted, like the gold is a little bit more matte, which is what I wanted to do. I also have these letters, which I didn't even use. Maybe at some point I'll use them. And I also have this paper rope, which was sort of like the clothesline that I have going across the back to hang things on. And I also have these little clothespins. A lot of you have seen these before at baby showers or things like that to play the clothespin game. So all of those items I pretty much got, except for these bad boys, and these came in a pack of 4. So I ended up giving my daughter the gold and the silver ones, but it was gold, silver, rose gold, and the gunmetal. So worth it. I'll make sure I have links of everything that I can in the description box, so you guys can go and purchase these for yourself if you want. Another thing that you'll need is, I went and purchased special photo paper. So when I first started the idea, I thought maybe that I wanted to do Polaroid size pictures, so have everything sort of be like in a Polaroid frame and maybe like with a caption, but I realized that my goals and my dreams weren't all going to fit on there. So I needed to give some variety to the photo size. So I opted to just make sure that everything was uniform in a different way as opposed to size. So I used this matte photo paper. I got this from Amazon as well. And this is in an 8.5 by 10 size. And I chose matte just because I wanted to. You can do glossy, you can do whatever you want. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer or right or wrong way to do it. However, I chose to do matte just because I didn't want anything like, I don't know, reflecting off of it. I hang this in my bedroom, so I didn't want anything reflecting too much off of the photography. And I think the pictures actually pop a little bit better on the matte paper, so that's why I chose matte. So now we're down to the good stuff. You're gonna wanna grab photos. So I know that most people like to use magazine cutouts to do this, and I'm probably sure that you could probably get even like a really nice uniform similar to this if you do magazines, but maybe just like make frames for them. So I think there's some variations in there if you wanted to do that, but I chose to go online and find the photos that I want. I literally just type in whatever my vision, my goal is for the year. So in this case, my goal is to go to Switzerland. I really want to go to Switzerland. I'm obsessed right now. So I just go to Google, click images, just scrolling through, finding the perfect image, and then you're going to want to right click, and you're going to want to save image as. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. I'm going to give it a quick name so I can identify it. I've created a folder for it. Once I've created the folder, I'm going to open my iPhoto, and I am going to import that file. So I'm just going to choose any photo, and you can see I play with the filters. So one thing that's really important is the way that I get it to look so uniform and cohesive is I only go between 2 different filters. So I think for this one I use either dramatic warm or vivid warm, and I used silver tone. But I think another good option, if you don't have like a MacBook or iPhoto or anything to edit photos with, you can absolutely use Instagram. So another option would be to create a fake Instagram account or an additional Instagram account, find the photos via Instagram, save them, screenshot them, and you can edit them in the Instagram. You can use your phone editing apps or whatever would have you, and then print them off on your printer. So that's another option. So printing is pretty important. So the way that I figure out what size I'm gonna print, I tend to grab 3 of the same size photo. I don't resize any of the photos at all. It's too much work. We're already searching for photos online and editing. We ain't got time. So there's my printer, there's my paper size in color. This is where you can change the size of your photo. Play with the margins. I usually leave them pretty narrow. And this is where I play with the sizes. Now I only go between 2 and 4. So I never do photos as large as 1. Obviously that's one huge one. Although I thought about doing it, but the board wasn't big enough, so I didn't. So after doing all that, you're just going to want to click print, and that's it. This is what the 2 looks like. And this is just in this particular shape. Again, I try to always just add photos on the same page or print photos on the same page that are similar in shape. I don't resize anything. So now we're down to arranging the photos on the board. So there's really no rhyme or reason. It's really all about aesthetically how you want it to look. First, I laid the lettering. So I just want you to know, you should lay your lettering first. Lay it on the board first. Like, don't do it last, because you're gonna layer on top of this. So make sure you layer your lettering first. Also, these are pretty cute. It's cute to know that you can clip these downward or upward. So some of the pictures, I didn't want to get in the way of the other pictures, so I have it clipped upwards. In this case, I have certain things that are near and dear to me on the clothesline, and I have favorite quotes that I can tag here, and I'll just show you really quickly. It's gonna be hard to do this with one hand. Punch it in terms of like inspiration and things like that. I have like fashion, interior design, just different things I need to work on or that are important to me for achieving this year. And that's pretty much how I do it. So I hope that video helped you in your vision board journey and helped you get to a better idea of how you could possibly, you know, maybe you have one that you did already on the poster board, and maybe you want to do a fancier one or a more curated one. So this is just a little idea for you to do that. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. Don't forget to subscribe. And tell a friend to tell a friend. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.